So when we talk about like what management actually entails, what are we doing when we say we're managing your network? There's a lot of things that go into that maybe don't show on the surface. A good example of that would be lifecycle management. So an important piece of network management is ensuring that the devices, the equipment that you have in your network, one, it's still meeting the business need, right, of what you're wanting that equipment to service. And two, we're ensuring that we don't have equipment in the environment that's no longer patchable, that no longer, or maybe it's vulnerable to security risk, we don't know. So kind of the part of that management is that life cycle management, which we're saying is, hey, we're gonna make sure we're proactively monitoring what equipment's in your environment, and as equipment ages out, or what we call goes end of life, we're pulling that equipment out, especially if there's security risk associated with that equipment going end of life or end of support. So another piece of this would be exactly what we're talking about there, patch management, to ensure that we're patching equipment on a regular basis so that we're identifying security vulnerabilities, identifying any kind of security risk before it becomes an issue, or before bad actors have a chance to do what they do. So patching systems accordingly. Change management, ensuring that changes that are implemented into your network are not just made without proper vetting or going against some kind of approval process. We want to ensure that changes to your network, especially those that are large in scope or maybe that affect multiple business applications, we want to consolidate those changes and ensure that the right people are viewing, vetting, and approving those changes before we push them out into the wild being your network. So another facet of network management is problem management. Oftentimes this goes overlooked, quite frankly, by a lot of management companies and by a lot of management services. We're proactively identifying problems. So what we consider a problem is if something is happening, if an incident is happening or an issue is happening in the same fashion or multiple times over a set period, we consider that a problem. And so one thing that we try to do there is address those problems. We want to identify them, address the root cause of those problems, and making sure that we're working towards a resolution. That way we're not just treating every incident or every problem that comes in as its own separate entity. We want to drive some correlation so that we can identify a larger problem and we can remediate it as a whole, which will help go a long way in ensuring that we're still delivering the performance and that reliability and security that we kind of promise overarching as what your network should deliver.